If people don't agree with you despite you having some evidence that suggests opposite to what other people believe in, then this Reddit post is for all of us. Let's start reading. Galileo was downloaded. Don't be discouraged. You may be right in 100 years. You will be dead, but you will be right. The earth revolves around the sun. The claim is disputed by theology experts. People were not convinced by his theories because they thought that the evidence is weak. However, of course, he was the right. And yes, the earth definitely revolves around the sun. We know that now. Let's see. It was a very hot take back in the day, come to think of it. Maybe still it is a very hot take for some of the people, but back in the day, it was really, really, really hot take. Let's go through the comments and see what people are debating about this. The Reddit usernames are the most creative usernames among all other social media. His username is live sandwich and then some number. It is the most upvoted comment, by the way. Since someone was right about something that most people were wrong about, that means that thing that are believed by most people will inevitably be proven wrong. And the thing that are believed by a minority of people will inevitably proven right. Thus, every fringe belief I have must be true regardless of evidence. What? I am a misunderstood genius living before my time, just like Galileo. Oh my God, this person went into some ego ride here. A good way to tell the difference between a crackpot and a genius without looking at any evidence is by listening to how they talk to those who disagree with them. Yeah, this is good. This is good. But I do want to say that, when you have some opinion which is not going along with the people, you should have strong evidence, and you should have some evidence that suggests that you are right. And some decisions, some opinions does not matter like other opinions, like you don't have to have an opinion about everything, but some opinions that you have formed should be based on your real life evidence rather than, someone on the internet told you something, or, you should not be blindly following anything at all. Let's see what this person is saying. I don't know. 78875. In my study of early anti-slavery advocates, I can very much tell you, even geniuses sometimes just use ad hominem attacks with no explanation when they were tired of dealing with thoughtless assholes. I do agree with this. This happens, very, very often, that sometimes you are just tired of explaining everything to everyone, and at some point you are right, and then you just start attacking with no explanation because you have already given explanation for the same thing for so many times. I think it's less that you have to be perfect all the time, and more so that you make an honest attempt to listen to the arguments of those that disagree with you. Okay? Another giveaway is when people can attack the steelman instead of strawman of the argument. Okay. More broadly, when you have a scorching hot take that has evidence against it, you shouldn't be afraid of that evidence and should low-key be seeking out evidence that disproves you because it has the potential of critique of strengthening your position. Yeah, sure. But I have seen nowadays people will believe what they are told in their childhood and they will never ever change. Whatever evidence you give them, and you cannot be intellectual with everyone, and you don't have to be. So just be aware and argue with the people who are ready to listen to your argument, and they are ready to change their mind, or they are generally open minded, you can talk with them and you can figure out, and you can figure out some common ground, and then they want to learn, you want to learn, and that you must read the room before being all argumentative. You must read the room, you must know where you are, with who you are talking to. You don't have to go and start convincing people of your argument when you meet them for the first time. It doesn't work like that. So let's read this. Galileo did not have evidence to support his claim, and the evidence provided to the Inquisition was incorrect, like his pointing of the tides showing the Earth's movement. And yet he still was allowed to continue his research. Sorry guys. Let me reread this. And yet he still was allowed to continue his research, as long as it was research and not published as sure conclusions. He didn't even have mathematical models to support his claim, while today still we know the heliocentrist model isn't even fully correct. Then Galileo goes and slanders anyone who disagrees with him. Yeah, this is the quality that many scientists have, if I may call this quality. Okay, let's read this part. Pope Urban allowed Galileo to continue publishing as long as he also included the arguments of Aristotle's Platoni's version of geocentralism. Galileo did it, but in a narrative form, and the narrator for the geocentric Aristotle Ptolemy model, he portrayed under what would essentially be the name simpleton. He basically said, if the Pope's gonna make me put it, I am going to portray my position as the chat position and the Pope's position as the Virgin Incel position. Okay. Well, I think there are egos involved, when you are everywhere. Was the Catholic Church wrong? Yes. Was Galileo right? No. I mean, the earth revolves around the sun, so he was right, I think. Not entirely, okay. I think he was right. There is no. Let's read this comment. Well, the core of the problem is he didn't have a mathematical model that fit his assertions. Okay, yeah, this is a good point. The real problem was that at the time, sound logic and modeling preceded evidence, and Galileo started the trend towards evidence preceding models. So I won't say lack of evidence, but more so that the evidence wasn't thought the same way it is now, which isn't to say that they just went on to leave everything to religion. Okay, that's fair point. However, I do not have information about this. Let's ask maybe ChatGPT about this. Okay, this is not the right model. Let's ask ChatGPT. Because this is a search, and ChatGPT is a very good search engine, and I think for this search we can rely on ChatGPT. Hopefully. Did Galileo have a mathematical model when he proposed his theory? Earth revolves around the sun. Okay, so as per ChatGPT, heliocentric idea with mathematics and observation, but he did not create a completely new mathematical model of planetary motion himself. Okay, so why was he sentenced to house arrest? Why was he sentenced to house arrest? Galileo was sentenced to house arrest mainly because he publicly defended heliocentrism, the idea that Earth moves around the sun, after the Roman Catholic Inquisition had ordered him not to present it as physical truth. Okay, so I think it is basically Galileo is saying that this is a fact and this is the real thing that happens, and church is asking him to say it is not truth, it is not proven yet. We need more evidence, basically, that kind of a thing. And then he didn't agree, and he said he disrespected the church. He called them simpleton, and then they sentenced him to house arrest. This is what I understand by reading this ChatGPT answer. Of course, this is a very historical thing, and it is mainly, I think, agreed upon. But history is a little bit complicated. But I think this Reddit post is not about history. It is just directionally saying that, if you are downvoted, don't be discouraged. You might be right in 100 years. In 100 years, you will be dead, probably, if we don't discover some pill that, that can keep us alive and we are healthy and able to think. If that doesn't happen, then you will be dead in 100 years, but you might be right about something that people don't agree with you right now. So don't be discouraged, guys. This was the whole, but then don't be a dumb person and argue for anything. Okay. So it is about, you should have some evidence, you should have some personal experiences, and you should have some model of, some reasoning. There should be some reasons about why you think what you think, and those should be not emotional. Those should be very, very rooted in rationality. And then you don't have to be discouraged, and because your ideas are based on reality and you have a rational thought, then you don't have to be discouraged. You might be just right. Thank you everyone for watching this. Please consider subscribing.